Let me start off this week with a question. When was the last time you worried about something and it actually helped you? Now, I'm not talking about problem solving or healthy concern that leads you to take action. I'm talking about the kind of worry that just spins, like the loop that starts at 2 a.m. and doesn't stop. The what ifs, that pile up on each other until you can't even remember what you were originally worried about. Sound familiar? Yeah, for me too, for sure. That's why this week on Cowgirl Up, we're diving into worry. And I mean, we're going to really dig in because I think this is one of those topics that affects every single one of us. And yet, most of us have never stopped and actually taken the time to understand what worry actually is, where it comes from, or what it's costing us. So let's start at the beginning. What is worry? Well, at its most basic level, worry is just the mind's attempt to solve a problem that hasn't happened yet. It's your brain rehearsing danger. So it feels productive, like you're doing something, but in most cases, you're not solving anything. You're just suffering in advance. So here's a stat that blew my mind when I first heard it. Research suggests that 85% of the things that we worry about never actually happen. Pretty crazy, huh? And then the 15% that do, well, most people report that they handle it better than they expected. So we are spending enormous amounts of mental energy on scenarios that either never actually happen or that we're more capable of handling anyways. So I want to make a distinction that I think is really important before we go further. Worry is not the same as healthy concern. Healthy concern is what prompts you to check your equipment, warm up your horse properly, or have a plan, for things that might not go the way you hope. That's useful. That's your brain doing its job. So, okay. But worry is what happens when that healthy concern gets hijacked. When instead of taking action, your mind just keeps circling the drain. And the big difference, well, healthy concern leads you to take action. Worry just leads to more worry. And here's how it relates to mindset. So we've already talked about this a lot on the show. Remember our ants, those automatic negative thoughts, and how to use the ACT strategy where we acknowledge, we check, and we trade the thoughts. So worry is basically those ants on steroids, right? It starts with one unchecked negative thought and then morphs into that spiral that we all know too well. So here's what I want you to understand for this week. Worry is a habit. It feels automatic, and in many ways it is, but it's a learned habit, which means it can be unlearned. It can be redirected. Isn't that encouraging? I hope so, because I'm going to try to pack some encouragement into this week for you for sure. And let me introduce the power statement for this week. I focus on what I can control and let go of what I can't. One more time. I focus on what I can control and let go of what I can't. Okay, so write that down, put it somewhere you'll see it. Say it out loud right now if you can, because that single statement is an antidote for worry. And we're going to unpack it this week. So tune in tomorrow. We're going to look at worry through a lens that might be surprising, or maybe not. The ego, because worry doesn't just come out of nowhere. It has a source. And when you're aware of where it's coming from, you'll discover that you have power over it.